Illusions. I would begin by saying that was a really good title, and oftentimes people don't spend a whole lot of time in deciding what their title should be. It says, what do you like about the speech? You're very comfortable in front of an audience. You're always thinking of how to entice and, yes, challenge the audience. The question I have is, did your speech meet the assignment? Get comfortable with visual aids. Use 2 or more visual aids in your speech. I thought I saw 3 visual aids. One is a pair of gloves, another was chattering teeth, and you grabbed Tom's book. I'm not so sure that you used props effectively in your speech. The challenge sometimes at Toastmasters is, oftentimes in the book it says avoid politics and religion. Probably a good idea, but I've been in clubs where we allow people to do that. And sometimes the challenge as an evaluator is to get into the content of your speech instead of the delivery of the speech, what you did well in the speech. So I'll try to avoid challenging the content of the speech, with the caveat, though, that I don't think there was ever any mention of 9/11, the Taliban, and Al-Qaeda. So the thing is, if you're questioning the reasons for being in Afghanistan, I think you have to at least give some credence to the fact that many people believe that is the sole reason, or the sole reasons why we were there. And not to bring it up, I think, makes one question some of the parameters or things that you were talking about in your speech. The speech structure, I didn't really see. It seemed like you wanted to talk about Afghanistan and whether or not that was an illusion, whether we should believe what many people think are the reasons why we're there. But then you went on to things like World War II, the Philippines, JFK's assassination, and the national debt. And I didn't necessarily see where they linked to the illusion and your premise about Afghanistan. At one point, you mentioned that we are in Afghanistan, and I thought you were from Afghanistan. So you kind of got a little bit out of character. Some of the things that I think you could have done better was to have the Toastmaster introduce, here is someone from Afghanistan who's going to tell you the other side of the story. And yes, there are other sides of stories. Whether or not that changes people's beliefs may be questioned. You might have worn natural garb. You might have tried to wear some natural garb. I wasn't necessarily sure why somebody in Afghanistan, although I guess it can get cold in some places, why somebody in Afghanistan would be wearing gloves, maybe protect you from the sand. But I would suggest that maybe you might want to do, whether it's this speech again or this project again, using visual aids and following a little bit more along the lines. But when you speak, Arnie, no one ever falls asleep.